Welcome to the #AttitudeShield podcast, the true mental operating script rewriting program designed for those looking for a change from within. No more hype or sugar-coated promises. This is to-the-point guidance on how to change the way we think to grab the life we always wanted. Are you ready for the change? Now your host, Davidlparker.
Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever. Stealing it from the Truman Show. I am Davidlparker, your Attitude Shield mentor, and I'm glad you're here. I really am. You know, it's not every day that I get to talk to people. Oh, wait. Sure it is, because you can always talk to people on YouTube. All right, so we have been talking about the four spokes of the Attitude Shield. The braces, if you will, the piece behind it that keeps that wheel rolling. Now, remember we talked about back in the day, about a year and a half ago, that you have to forge this thing. You have to see it in your mind. You have to be able to grab it like it's real and feel it right there on your arm. Just like you can taste coffee, you got to be able to feel it. There are things that you have to be able to see in your mind. There are things that you should be able to picture clearly in your mind. And part of that is where you're going and what you're going to do. And part of that can be backed up all the time by the four spokes of the Attitude Shield. Your belief. Your belief is number one. And then your movement equals momentum. I just spent an hour the other day talking with a guy, good friend of mine, who was just feeling like life had kicked him square you know where. You know, sometimes they say you're the bat, sometimes you say you're the ball, sometimes you take a bat to the ball, you know what I'm saying? And he was very emotional. He was very upset. He was sad. Of course he was sad. He has spent 30 years of a life in a certain field, a career field. And earlier on in that life, he had moved from Denver to Colorado Springs. And then he lost it. He lost a wife and kids. A divorce came through, ripped his world apart, as divorce does it to people. Been there, done that, got the shirt. Well, he picked him up by his bootstraps, they call it. He picked himself up off the ground, and he got up off that ground by taking steps, by getting some movement. And that motivated him back into business for himself for another 10 years, where he built a 7-figure business with his own hands. During that time, he met another young lady, and they had an amazing relationship. And that all come tumbling down just a couple of years ago. So here he finds himself in a place of life where it feels like, why did I go through this? Why did I just spend 30 years of my life in this industry? And why did it happen? Well, I always try to tell people the only why you need to understand is why you're doing something. Trying to figure out why something happened to you or why something didn't work out, unless it's a business-minded thing, unless it's quantifying your direction, unless it's trying to figure out how to make things better. See, I don't work inside the right and wrong world. I work inside the what's working and what isn't working world. What about you? I don't find things to be one way or another. I don't find things to be split on an axis. But I do find that we can drive ourselves crazy. We can destroy our belief. We can destroy our momentum. We can definitely crack our commitment. And there's no way to make a trackable plan out of why did something bad happen to me. Now, the way to overcome it, obviously, if you will, is Attitude Shield. Him and I talked a long time about what you say to you. Listen, you're never going to talk to me more than you talk to yourself. I don't care. Just not going to happen. Why? Because every word you say to somebody else, you hear. And because you hear it, you're also talking to you. You ever wonder to yourself why people who are instructors, trainers, people that work with businesses are so good at what they teach? Well, one, repetition. But two is while they're teaching it, they're learning it. If I teach you something, I hear it. If I share knowledge with you, I hear it. You know, one of my favorite little tongue-in-cheek jokes is, I heard on the street that you need a haircut, right? And people are like, who'd you hear that from? Well, I heard it from me. I just said it. Ha ha. Come on now. That's sort of funny. No, maybe not. Anyway, back to my friend. And we're chatting it up. He's really feeling like crap. And he says to me, if I could just get motivated, I could make this change. And my attitude shield came out. No, if you would make a decision to get moving, the motivation will follow. Now, why am I having this conversation? Because I believe there's givers and there's takers and there's mentors and there's coaches. I was giving and I was trying to coach. Why? Because I'm sharing valuable knowledge. I'm sharing truth, if you will. You have to get moving to find yourself being motivated. You have to believe that if you get started, that the motivation will follow the movement. You have to stay committed to that movement. And then you have to make a trackable plan. You have to be able to look at it and say, you know what, today I did this. So tomorrow I'm going to do that. But one of the things I want to talk about today is not just the four spokes of Attitude Shield. I want to talk about why Attitude Shield, other than the fact, because you'll never talk to me anymore, you talk to yourself. Why rewrite your operating script to be able to grab a better life? But I want to talk about the fifth part. It's not a spoke. It's like, you know, if you bang a gong, you know, big brass gong, bong, it reverberates and it makes a really loud noise. You hit the side of your car, it makes a noise. When you make an impact, there is a sound, there's a response, there's a reaction, there's something that happens. And Attitude Shield wants you to make an impact on other people, an impact on the world. You know, I want you to be as impactful as an asteroid slamming into the side of your house on other people's lives. Now, I don't mean I want you to destroy them. I want you to make this explosion of joy, this ability to help people. Now, how do you do that? You do it by developing leadership skills. You know, John C. Maxwell said, the higher you want to climb, the more you need leadership. But the greater the impact you want to make, then the greater your influence needs to be. Now, to influence somebody, you have to have a message. Now, there's a great book called The Millionaire Message, but the message is what you've been through. The message is the things that you've discovered on how to make things better, how you have peeled back the onion. Now, why do I like to call peel back the onion? Well, that's really simple. Because if you peel back an onion, most of us tear up and cry. Well, life can be sort of painful. You're going to cry a little bit, but you need to be able to make an impact. Imagine what we could do as a species on this planet if everybody went out and impacted one person a day. And let's just say you and I started. So there's two people. We go out and impact somebody today. And then those two become four. So they will help us tomorrow impact somebody. And then that 4 becomes 8 and 16 and 32 and 64, 128. And you see how fast this goes? That goes up faster than the gigabytes in cell phones. Do you want the 254 or the 516? Okay. Make an impact. To make an impact is way, way, way more important. The more impact you have on people's lives in a positive manner, the louder that reverb, that bong comes back into your life. See, that's what people don't understand. It's not about what you can get. I think I've told you this before. Broke people talk about, I got to get that money. I got to get that money. Go get my money, right? People who are well off, if you will, talk about things. Yo, check out my car and check out my house and check out my boat and check out my. Wealthy people talk about ideas. Wealthy people make an impact on other people's lives. Now, how do you start building leadership? I think the most important question that a leader can ever ask of anybody you're leading, what can I do to help you? That's the most powerful question in business. What can I do to help you? See, most people are too wrapped up in, well, what can I get out of you? They're too wrapped up in, what is it that I can get out of the situation? See, I think that life is a journey, and it's not designed to arrive safely. You know what I mean? Walk up to your last resting place, the grave, and in this perfectly well preserved body. It's to literally come like sliding in sideways, totally wore out, busted body, just made so much impact on people that you got nothing left. And when you slide up to your last resting place, you're like, holy shit, what a ride. But how do you get that? By impacting people. That is the key. Your impact, the leadership that you give by impacting other people. Now, listen to me. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to reach your destination. You're never going to make impact on people. You're never going to develop any good leadership if you stop every step of the way to throw stones, to throw rocks, or to fight back against every dog that barks. Because let me tell you what's a barking dog? Well, I don't know if you're a podcaster or a YouTuber. It's all the negative reviews. What's a barking dog? It could be your significant other who doesn't believe in your dream. It could be somebody in your network that you work within who is my way or no way. It could be anybody who spews negativity your way, which is easy to do. As a matter of fact, negativity in your life is like a fire hose on full blast, while the positivity is the water dripping off the corner of your house when it just barely rained on the metal roof in Louisiana. Drip, drip, drip. You know what's funny about that little drip, drip, drip? Think about nature. That little drip, drip, drip in time will crack a stone. It'll break a house. The little drip, drip, drip of positivity can do the same thing. You cannot get wrapped up, everybody, dealing with the naysayers. And sometimes you have to seek out what people are going to say about what you're doing and take whether it's good or bad. You just got to take it, right? But now when you seek out knowledge, when you seek a mentor, a coach, when you are asked by the people in your life to be the mentor, do not correct a fool. Do not try to advise somebody who is not looking to change, somebody who's not willing to put any energy into changing. If you try to correct a fool, that fool will hate you. They'll despise you and they'll become your loudest barking dog. Now, if you correct a person who's actually wise, trying to change, looking for something better, that person will appreciate you. And that's the impact you're looking about. You're looking forward. That's the impact we're trying to build. Now, listen, great leaders care about their people's success more than their own. I could literally sit here and probably talk about that for 40 minutes. Hours. I could talk about it for hours. I can't tell you how big Attitude Shield believes that, how much I believe that a great leader cares more about their people's success. I'd rather be on the sidelines watching somebody hold up the trophy than hold it up myself. Why? Because the trophy has some weight to it. The trophy, look, I'm telling you the truth. I've been a football coach for years. Here's a championship ring. Now, when I look at this ring, I don't see what I did. I see what those guys did. I see what the blood, the sweat, the tears, the whole 9 yards, but brought the ability to have this ring did. The smiles on their faces at the end of the championship. I have another one over there. As a matter of fact, I have a championship trophy right there. Love to coach football. Haven't done it for a minute, but love to coach it. Anyway, it's all about that team winning. It's all about their success. It's all about why. If you hold up a trophy and you're the winner, that's a moment. It's a fleeting moment in life. But when you watch somebody else hold up the trophy, when you make that impact, and you're the leader that cares more about their success than your own, the image of the holding up the trophy will never leave you. Even when you're having a hard time, you'll remember those times. You know, I was told a long time ago by an amazing mentor, give people magic moments. If you give them magic moments, then they'll always be with you. Watching somebody else succeed, Mr. or Mrs. Leader, is giving that person a magic moment, and they'll never, ever, ever leave you. It's completely yours. It's more yours than I have the ability to explain. Now, the biggest challenge I think people have when it comes to building teams, when it comes to being successful, when it comes to getting from where they are to where they want to go, is that they're just such in a hurry to go so fast, which always reminds me of a Wyatt Earp comment. And that comment is, fast is fine, but accuracy is final. Fast is fine. Going fast is fine, but being accurate is final. You must learn to be slow in a hurry. When I was in the Army for 22 years, we were training to go into buildings. We were training to do what we did in Iraq and Afghanistan and other places that I went. It was called combat patience. Slow is fast. No. Smooth is slow, slow is fast. Smooth is slow, slow is fast. Now, when you're building a team and you're building a business, it's never going to be smooth. But if you stay consistent, even slowly, you're going to win. You stay consistent, no matter how fast you go, you're going to win. And it's going to be, you got to be accurate, and you got to be looking to do the right thing. So where am I going today? Well, you know, I prepped a really good show. And then I thought I would share with you about hanging out with that friend of mine, that connection of mine, that person that needed some impact. When I first started talking to him about what he was feeling, I made sure just to be slow about it. I made sure that I didn't just come running in and go, this is how you change your life, and I'm going to do it right now. Woo, you're healed. Because first of all, that doesn't work. It really doesn't work. You don't get to say, woo, you're healed, right? Listen, I want you to work on your impact. I want you to work on your belief. Your belief will get you moving. Getting moving will bring you motivation. The motivation will continue you moving. The moving will bring you motivation, which continues you moving, which continues the motivation. That motivation will help you stay committed to the process of becoming what it is you're looking to become, the process of changing what you need to change, the process of winning what you're looking to win. And you got to be able to have a trackable plan, which means you're able to pivot. Pivoting is very important. Being able to know when to turn left, turn right, back up a step, run forward. Those things are all part of it. And those things are the 4 building blocks, the 4 spokes of the attitude shield. Imagine, if you will, real quick, that you have, I don't even have anything here at my desk. So, let's take the coffee cup lid. Okay. If this is the shape of your shield, then right behind it is 4 cross members, right? Those 4 cross members give something support. Like when you build a wall, you got to have a board every 16 inches on center to support the wall, and the one on top, one on the bottom. There's a whole engineering thing to that. But it's the same thing as building your attitude shield. It's the same thing as building your ability to wave off the negative. It's the same thing as controlling what you say to yourself. Same thing. You got to have a step-by-step process. And the first thing you got to do is believe. We've talked about that. Where are you going? You got to see it. Close your eyes. You can see it. You can speak it. You know it's there. Then you know there's a process. And that process means you got to start from where you are, and you got to work to where you want to go. It's not free. Then you have to make sure you stay committed to the process. Most people get it backwards. They commit to the dream, but not a process to get there. They don't seem to want to grab onto the fact that it takes a little bit of work. And then, like I said, you got to have a trackable plan. But I want you to become a leader. And a leader's most important question that he or she can ever ask their people is, what can I do for you? So I ask you, what can I do for you? What can I talk about? What can I bring to a show that would make a bigger impact on you? I appreciate all the shares. I appreciate all the likes and the comments. Do this because it needs to be done. We will talk to you soon on the next #AttitudeShield. I'm David Parker. Have an awesome, awesome day.